Welcome everybody back to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 1987 Mercedes-Benz AMG Hammer Wagon. So this is based on a standard W124, which was a series of cars built between 1984 and 1997, and the guys at AMG in America basically threw almost all of it away, because this was originally a diesel version of the estate, as the diesel version was the only version of the estate that was sold in America. And basically they put in a massive engine in it. They improved the automatic transmission to help deal with the extra power and torque, improved the chassis and the driveline, as well as gave it unique body parts, twin exhausts, new painted wheels, and a revised interior. And yeah, it looks really rather bang up job, to be honest. And this is only one of one. Only one of these was ever made. They never even made any in Germany, of all things. So really unique car, to be honest, in terms of cars on this game. To have one of one, not many of those on this game. And it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm always a big fan of fast estate cars, and this is no exception. But it does look royally 80s on the interior. So a lot of analog buttons, not much in the way of extras, but you could all depend on it working even well after the fact. And nice clear dials, no obstructions by the steering wheel, and everything is where you'd expect it to be. It's also obviously got plenty in the way of practicality, in terms of rear legroom and in terms of boot space. So plenty of legroom there, and plenty of boot space on the go as well. Absolutely spacious, and means that this massively powerful car has plenty of practicality on the go. It's rear-wheel drive. Like I said, it's got an automatic gearbox, and the engine is the same engine that we've seen in the Hammer Coupe. So it's a 6-litre naturally aspirated V8 engine, producing 379 horsepower and 417 pounds-feet of torque. So that's the exact same amount as that Hammer Coupe as well. Now granted, that does mean that this is slightly slower, as it does have extra weight, given it is a wagon over a coupe, but at £3,805 it's not massively heavier, at only £165 more than the coupe version. So not much in the way of extra weight, not much difference in terms of acceleration either, but obviously you do get the unique aspect of this being an estate car, and also all of the practicality that comes with that. Plus you also have to remember, estate cars back before the 90s were not particularly powerful or seen as sporty, and so I think there's only one Volvo that might have been kind of on the sportier side of things, as they tried to compare it to the Ferrari Testarossa, but this was far quicker than that Volvo, and also far quicker than a Testarossa as well in certain regards. So fantastic looking vehicle. Not overly sold on the blue paint, but it's the only colour it comes in on this game in terms of manufacturer colours, and obviously the blue wheels wouldn't much go with a different kind of colour. So it's decent enough, it's just not the kind of colour that I'd naturally go for. But nonetheless, let's get out onto the open road and see what this car can do. Right, so here we are at the drag strip, so let's see what this Mercedes can do before we hit the speed camera, and then we'll get it round the track. So its 4-speed gearbox doesn't give it the the best of launches in the world, and they are quite long gears. In fact, the gearbox in this was, or even the drive ratio, was eventually swapped out to a much friendlier ratio to make the revs at motorway speeds a lot lower. But still, 125 miles an hour there in a car that is as old and as big as this is fairly impressive. And for a car that is what, 37 years old now, that is really rather impressive for a car of this kind of weight. And it does just go to show that the engine in this is a marvellous engine, and even with the automatic gearbox that it's dealing with, it still isn't really strained by all that much. So handling wise though, it can be a little bit iffy at times. You really have to get used to the handling on this, given its weight and its general size, because it is bigger than the coupe that it shares its engine with at the end of the day. But still, it's a fun car to drive, and a unique one in the fact that it's an estate car from Mercedes, which we've not had much of before. So high-end B-class. There we go. Stats wise, it's all fairly predictable. Handling and speed are good, acceleration, launch and braking less so, but it's not massively different to the Hammer Coupe, as you can see. Handling wise, it's only 0.1 down. Acceleration wise, it's actually apparently slightly quicker, but it's not. The stats wise, the actual numbers aren't as good. Launch is slightly better apparently, and the braking is worse, which is probably due to the extra amount of weight. But still, overall, it's a really cool car, and we don't have many fast estate cars on these Forza games, to be honest. It's kind of a underrepresented kind of segment of the car history and whatnot. But still, let's hear what this car sounds like, and then we'll talk about it some more. So yeah, a nice sounding V8 engine is pretty hard to get wrong when you're dealing with only naturally aspirated engines, and yeah, this is absolutely glorious. Handling wise, it is, like I said, not the best, and you can definitely feel the weight at times, and it does like to step its rear end out, but you know, if you're careful with it, you can get a good decent amount of fun out of it, and at times it will behave to put in a good amount of handling around certain corners. But yeah, it's by no means perfect. The Coupe is definitely the better handling car, but like I said, this is far more unique, and yeah, it's actually fairly close in terms of acceleration times over the Coupe. 0 to 16, 5.3 seconds, that's only 0.3 seconds down on the Coupe. 0 to 100 in 12.582 seconds, which is only 0.582 seconds